So now I'm going to end with my last lecture that I'm doing on Roman religions, um, on the issue of foreign religions. And, you know, as we already saw, Rome already embraced heavily from Greece. And as polytheists, they didn't have a problem also bringing in other religions. And as they incorporated, and spread out as an empire, um, different cultures that they dominate have religions that come and become integrated into into the Roman world. And just as Christianity is a Middle Eastern religion, right? That ends up becoming considered a Western religion, but it comes out of the Middle East with many of its ideas originating in Mesopotamia. So it's not hard to see how that can happen over and over again, right? So we have just one popular belief was Cybele and Attis. Middle Eastern, it was a Middle Eastern mystery cult. Rome officially adopted the Cybele cult during the Second Punic War. Attis became a vegetarian spirit who was born and died each year, the son of Nana and the lover of Cybele. When he married Singarius, Cybele drove him mad. He castrated himself and subsequently died. A grieving Cybele brought him back to life as a fir tree. Um, Many of these stories are kind of like that, right? These kind of wild um, stories with very fanciful, to say the least. Now, the site of Cybele's temple is where now the Basilica of St. Peter stands. Okay? And so this old pagan world eventually is going to be wiped away as we come into Christianity. Another religion that is on the outskirts from the Middle East in the Roman world that is eventually going to be our topic next in the next section for next week. But the annual spring celebration, death, burial, resurrection, and discovery of an empty tomb are a part of it. And this leads me to kind of discuss that um, I'm going to go over this several times, that many elements of Christian religion don't necessarily seem that foreign to a lot of the themes that are already in the pagan world. So this isn't, this is just looking at the context in which the Christian world is going to emerge out of. Christianity is going to come out of Judaism, but Judaism is going to be in a Greco-Roman world, and Christianity is going to blend this kind of Jewish religion with a newer vision of it, a revised vision of it, somewhat, and in the middle of this Mediterranean world that is heavily influenced by all of these different religions. And so the idea of death, burial, resurrection, and renewal, these are themes that, with Easter, you see something very similar. Two other cults that were very popular that came out of the Greco-Egyptian world and then spread into the Roman world were Isis and Serapis cults. um, Isis became a very popular goddess within the Roman world, and we find Isis temples way out of Egypt. And then we have Serapis. So as covered in Greece under the Ptolemies, right? The Ptolemies is when Alexander the Great conquers Egypt, then incorporates this Greek religion with Egyptian, and creates this from scratch. It actually takes a life of its own, and even with the fall of Greek rule, the Serapis cult actually lasts, and it's going to last until the Christians weed it out. And same thing with Isis. And then we have Mithras. Now, what I'm going to do is, I know this is relatively shorter set of lectures. I could go into a few more details of Roman religion, but I think this is a good idea of an overview. And I'm going to end by, actually, I'm going to post this video clip to end it on, of comparing the mythology of Jesus, Mithras, and Osiris. That's put on the BBC. I want to just say that I don't really like the tone of the narrator. I think for practitioners of Christianity, he's somewhat offensive. And so I just want to kind of mention that outright and say that I would like, I'm not interested in showing things that are coming off that way. I mean, he's not being overtly insulting. It's just that his tone, he implies that Christianity steals ideas from other places. I think he uses that word. What I just want you to kind of just see is this. He's trying to make a link between Mithras and the Osiris and these religions that become popular in the Roman world, and then imply that Christianity directly springs kind of out of them. That's the feel you get. My point that I'd like you to see is that Christianity is going to find itself building a foundation in a world in which Christianity, as I was mentioning earlier, does have ideas that are not alien concepts necessarily to many of the religious cults that were around popular in the Roman world. And there seems to be a kind of fascination with foreign religions, a kind of exotification by elites, in which Christianity is also going to be considered. I mean, just think about, I don't know if anybody followed this whole Kabbalah obsession that took place. Maybe it's still going on now, but for a while Madonna was into it, and Britney Spears. I think Britney Spears got a tattoo in Hebrew of the name of God on her neck or something in the back. And first of all, in the Torah it says don't put on tattoos, so it's kind of weird to put a biblical word to want to be spiritual when that's the... Anyways, you feel me? I think it's Leviticus 19, I believe. But anyways, my whole point is that the Jewish mysticism that was seen as something that only well-trained men in Talmud and so forth, after they went through a long set of training, were they allowed to go into the mystical tradition of Judaism. And then this one group of I think this one Jewish family decided to popularize Kabbalah and make it accessible to Christians and Buddhists and anybody, and everybody has access to it. And they'd sell Kabbalah bracelets for $25 and Kabbalah water. This is all rooted in traditions coming out of Jewish mysticism that are then marketed in some sort of kind of new agey fashion. Now, I'm not even meaning to kind of criticize it, but I think it's a good way to imagine that some of these religions were flourishing in the Roman world, that those foreign exotic type of religions were appealing in the way that even now many Westerners tattooed or get posters of Hindu gods or Buddhists put a Buddha up because they find it exotic and interesting. The Beat movement brought in a lot of the Zen hippie, Zen Buddhism into the Beat movement, and then it kind of got into the hippie thing, right? So I just want you to visualize how these things happen. And so I'm going to end it. I'm going to end my lecture here, showing you this video, trying to help you understand what I'm trying to show you about what was going on in the Roman world. And then this will also kind of set the stage for as we go into Christianity and then Islam for the next set of lectures.